Good afternoon, it's Dave at ATI Watch Reviews. Please smash that like button. Please smash that subscribe button for more awesome watch content. Little wristwatch check. Got my Steel Dive SD 1970. Absolute beast of a watch. I love it, super comfortable. Fully solid stainless steel bracelet, diver, ceramic bezel. But today's video is about why I believe Gshocks, Casio Gshocks, are the best watches in the world. Now, I don't literally mean that there are no other watches that can compete with them. There aren't any other watches, in my view, that can compete with them for price, but they are nonetheless some of the best watches you can buy. For features, for performance, for value, in many ways they can't be beaten. And I'm going to explain my top 5 reasons why I believe they are some of the best watches in the world. Number 1, the easiest one to point out, but that is the extreme toughness and extreme ruggedness. Casio have put these things through various tests. They developed them, obviously in Japan, and they designed them in such a manner so that they can withstand extreme shock resistance, extreme stress and shock. And basically, it's been verified. You can go and watch it on YouTube. Casio even blew up. They blew up a G Steel model called the GST B300. They actually blew it up, and guess what? It was still ticking after it. That's a G-SHOCK G Steel line, same line as this, same line as that. And not that you need a watch that could withstand being blown up, because obviously, hopefully, that's not something that you're going to go through. But the point is that these things are absolute beasts. They can withstand, as a general rule, far more pressure and far more stress than normal watches. It would be difficult to stop them working for a normal person. It really would. Unless they have a defect in them, and I've had very few with significant defects. It would be difficult, or obviously the battery runs out, but it would be difficult for you to actually stop them unless you was like hitting them hard with a bat. Even if you did that, some of them would still continue working, because they were designed when they came out in 1983. That's like 35, 36 years ago. Actually, no, that's actually more like 39 years ago, nearly 40 years. They were designed to have this extreme toughness that most other watches on the market will simply not have. And secondly, if they did have it, you would have to pay far more. So that's number one. If you're an outdoors kind of person, you just like a rugged watch, you go to the gym, you play sport, these kind of watches are absolutely built for that and more. They're built for trekking and for military, and they're military grade, many of these watches. So ultimately, that is the first reason why I personally love these watches. It's the extreme ruggedness that you don't find on normal watches. Number 2, and this is probably really my actual favourite reason why I do love them, is the high tech, or the novel, or the advanced features. Because I love the fact that they come as standard with loads of different features, but there's certain functionality that I in particular really like, and I do bang on about, like multiband. What is multiband? It's automatic timekeeping. This watch, as long as it can receive the radio signal, and it says there, as you can see, received, it will keep second perfect timekeeping 365 days a year. It will never, as long as it can receive the time and it will receive that signal, it will check for it, I believe, 6 times per day in a multiband 6 country. Of course, that is that will not work if you're not in one of those 6 countries, which is basically America, China, Japan, England, I think Germany. Yeah, and basically, don't worry. There's something else for people who are not in those countries. It's called Bluetooth timekeeping. But I never have to change the time on this thing. It's right. It automatic. Daylight saving time. Everything adjusts. That's one feature I love. But the solar, tough solar. I love it. Tough solar gives me a battery for 10 years. I don't have to change the battery. I will stop wearing the watch before I would have to have swapped the battery, basically, because there's a solar panel built into the watch. Now, well, solar cells that are built into it. Now, obviously, some brands have their own version of radio controlled timekeeping. That's Casio's multiband, and they have tough solar as well. They have their own version of it, of solar, timekeeping, but of solar battery charging. Sorry, but not enough brands utilize equivalent technology like that. Anywhere near enough. I know Citizen do, I know Seiko have got a few, but it's nowhere near like Casio, where they put them in a lot of the Gshocks as like standard for and for a cheap price as well. Some of these watches are all generally below 500 quid. They're all between, say, 80 and 400 odd quid, basically. It's not just that. The features like, you've got location indicator if you're going trekking, where you can put a marker in the watch, a position, and the watch will actually guide you when you activate it to that location, to that GPS location, because it connects up to your smartphone with smartphone link. And that's another thing, actually. The smartphone link in some of these watches, and most of these watches here have it, gives you perfect timekeeping with the internet time servers with your phone. So if you're in any country in the phone, you can have perfect timekeeping. Compass, altimeter, pedometer, temperature, sunset, sunrise. These are quad sensor watches. This is a GRAVITYMASTER and this is a MUDMASTER, but which are not featured in the other watches. But as standard, you get obviously your alarms, your world time, your GMT functionality. You get that as standard in many G-SHOCK watches. I love these novel, and there's many other advanced functions that they put into some of these Casios, into some of these G-SHOCKs, that you just don't find commonly in other watch brands. And I believe you should do. I believe that technology, should be in other watches, and it's not utilized enough, basically, in my view. So that's the second reason, is the features, the high-tech advanced features. And the next reason why I love them is variety. Yes, as you can see, this is only a small number of my G-SHOCKs. I have many, and over the years I've collected so many before my channel that I've not shown you. But you can get G-SHOCKs that are dressy, that are sporty, that are all stainless steel, that are completely digital. This is a GD350, I think 1C, and the panel in this watch is fantastic. You get near perfect viewing angles. It's not a standard twisted pneumatic. Look at that. You're getting near perfect angles. It doesn't become obscure. It maintains perfect viewing angles at really extreme angles, which is just brilliant. And this is a cheap watch. This is probably only about 100 odd quid. I mean, I did ship this one in from America, I think, because this is a USA market model with the blue. But this is a military style one as well. But variety, you can get anything from your all digitals, your all stainless steel, your military trekking in the MUDMASTERs, to your kind of casual sports watch with a beautiful carbon core, or carbon fibre bezel. That bezel is absolutely sick. Well, the dial is as well, actually. To your aviation watches, like this, if you're a pilot, you like flying a lot, it's an aviation watch. They have literally a watch for everyone. They have them for women. They have the smaller watches. They have the G-Shock squares, which I haven't actually put. In fact, I can't believe I didn't put some of my favourite G-Shocks have never even been on the channel. The King G, that is an absolute beast of a watch, the King G, that I need to bring back on the channel, because I had a lot of my G-Shocks before my channel. I had one that was basically just below £1,000. That is like one of the higher tiers, like the MTG and the MRG, you know. And I'm going to bring all them back on the channel, because they even do like a higher tier of G-Shocks that have even more, you know, even more superior features in some regards, but they do get kind of expensive. They actually do a model of G-Shock that is, I think it's £6,000. Now, I would never buy that, obviously, but even if I could, but I wouldn't buy that anyway, because I'm an affordable watch reviewer. But they do it's horses for courses. They do a watch for everyone. You can get the variety in G-Shocks that you just can't find, in my view, in other watch brands, especially not for the price. Not for the prices below, you know, what we're talking here, which is a few £100 a watch, and some of them are just £100 a watch. This watch here, okay, this digital, it's either the GA or the GD 100. In fact, I'll find out for you right now. GD 100. This, I think I bought this off Amazon in a deal, but they have gone up now a bit. I think the RRP is about £100, but I bought it for about £50. And it's an absolute steal. And I've never changed the battery on it, and I've had it for about 5 or 6 years, and I've never changed the battery. They have the variety that is fantastic. I mean, where else do you find watches that look like that GravityMaster or that MUDMASTer? You don't. There's not other watch brands that make them look like this. It's unique to G-Shock, basically, which is why I love it. This watch is a fantastic all-rounder. The rubber band and the stainless steel contrast with the case makes it look sporty yet classy, yet dressy. It's brilliant. So I love the variety, and that's my next reason why. But another reason, which is closely connected to the variety, why I love them, is the military-esque style. I don't know why, but I'm just a sucker for that look. And I think that G-Shock makes some of the best military-style watches in the world by a country mile, I believe. I think they look fantastic, basically. I mean, especially the MUDMASTERs of this world. As you can see here, it just oozes that military feel, which I really like. I really like that look, basically, which is why I'm a huge fan of this MUDMASTER, as well as the features that you get with it, of course. But I personally don't use all the sensors and all that. I use the Bluetooth timekeeping. So that's the fourth reason. And then the fifth reason, which is really another massive benefit, which is really the second reason why I do love them as well, is the price. Because I believe for the price, or the value is unbeatable, because the features you get with them and the performance of 200-meter water resist as standard, so you can take them all swimming and diving, snorkeling, as standard, even from the cheapest one to the most expensive one. And if you want to go truly diving with them, and they do the Frogman, which I've not had on the channel. That's a watch. It's an ISO rated diver's watch. That's, you can get with a bracelet, with Bluetooth, with multiband, with everything. They do a limited edition one with a like carbon fibre bracelet. It's absolutely stunning. It's expensive, but it is absolutely stunning. The standard Frogman you can get a lot cheaper, but the price for what I pay for these, and you can, because they are mass produced, and Casio are a massive multi-billion pound company. You can get them in deals, and you normally can pay less than the RRP. Like this watch, I think the RRP will be about 325 to 350, something like that in Britain. I picked this up for probably 100 quid off that, brand new, off a reseller. I picked this up, 100 quid off retail. You can get them in fantastic deals, and you can get them for a few hundred quid. You just can't get watches off other brands that have the performance, that have solar, multiband, sensors, the shock resist, the mud resist, the waterproofness, and all those features for what they would charge. I paid, I think, 210 quid for this watch, which is just an absolute steal. It's a total steal. Most of the G-Shocks do have mineral crystals, but the mineral crystals in G-Shocks are good. I don't think they're the standard ones, because I've never seen them scratch significantly. And number two, you can actually get sapphire coated ones, but you'd have to go into the upper tiers like the MTGs and all that to get that stuff generally. So price and value is really the second reason why I love them, but I'm calling it number 5 here. But the price and value, they make, in my opinion, the best bang for buck watches in the world. So for all those reasons, I love G-Shocks, and I will continue to put them on the channel, as well as I like some homages from China and stuff, and I like other affordable watch brands like your Citizens, your Victorinox, Hamiltons, and so forth, and I can't wait to get some of those on my channel again soon. But G-Shocks are always going to be a part of my watch channel, because for these reasons, I believe they are some of the best watches in the world that you can buy. It's been Dave. Hope you enjoyed it. Cheers.